In the 2013 season, the Houston Texans went 2-14, which is how they landed the first pick in the 2014 draft. And with that first overall pick, the Houston Texans selected JADEVEON Clowney, defensive end from South Carolina. Meh. After injuries slowed the start to his career, Clowney's picked it up over the past 3 seasons. Still, he's yet to record double-digit sacks in a season and is very much in the shadow of teammate J.J. Watt. Clowney's been good, just not first overall pick good. With the second pick, the St. Louis Rams selected Greg Robinson, tackle, Auburn. Miss. It seemed like a good idea at the time. Robinson had the look of a can't-miss left tackle prospect coming out of Auburn. Unfortunately, he missed plenty of opposing rushers during 3 lackluster seasons with the Rams. He's now on his 3rd team in 5 NFL seasons, starting 8 games for the Browns in 2018. With the 3rd pick, the Jacksonville Jaguars selected Blake Bortles, quarterback, University of Central Florida. Miss. The Jaguars might have made the AFC Championship with Bortles at quarterback, but one can argue that it was in spite of him. It's probably a bad sign that his highlights include a Twitter account boasting nebulous facts about his career or being the punchline of a popular network sitcom. With the 4th pick, the Buffalo Bills selected Sammy Watkins, wide receiver, Clemson. Miss. Maybe the Bills did spend the 4th overall pick on a receiver to have him end up as a complimentary offensive weapon with just one 1,000-yard season. They certainly didn't draft Watkins to be a complimentary piece in someone else's offense, which is what happened. With the 5th overall pick, the Oakland Raiders selected KHALIL MACK, linebacker, Buffalo. Hit! Look away, Raiders fans. After establishing himself as one of the NFL's top pass rushers and winning the 2016 Defensive Player of the Year award, Oakland shipped Mack off to Chicago. The address may have changed, but the production remained the same, with Mack registering 10 or more sacks for the 4th straight season. With the 6th pick, the Atlanta Falcons selected Jake Matthews, tackle, Texas A&M. Hit! Matthews has been a stalwart at the tackle position since the Falcons spent the 6th pick on him, starting all 79 games he's played for the Dirty Birds. After signing a 5-year extension with the club before last season, Matthews will be protecting Matt Ryan for years to come. With the 7th pick, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers selected Mike Evans, wide receiver, Texas A&M. Hit! When you're one of just 3 players in NFL history to begin a career with 1,000 receiving yards in 5 consecutive seasons, it's safe to say things are working out. Not enough for you? Then how about 8 or more touchdowns in 3 of those 5 years? Fire the cannons, baby! With the 8th pick, the Cleveland Browns selected Justin Gilbert, cornerback, Oklahoma State. Miss. In 3 NFL seasons, Gilbert made only 3 starts and has 1 more career interception than you or I. After being traded to the Steelers, Gilbert was released in 2016, suspended in 2017, and appears to be out of the league for good. With the 9th pick, the Minnesota Vikings selected Anthony Barr, linebacker, UCLA. Barr's versatility is what made him a top 10 pick coming out of UCLA, but his numbers aren't going to blow anyone away. His ability to drop into coverage and help stop the run means he can be a fit in nearly any defense, even if he hasn't been the type of game-changing linebacker you'd hope to get at number 9. With the 10th pick, the Detroit Lions selected Eric EBRON, tight end, North Carolina. Miss so far. The Lions never figured out how to unlock EBRON's athleticism and turn him into a playmaking tight end. Then he left for Indianapolis in free agency and became the player everyone in Detroit hoped he'd be. We'll see whether his 14-touchdown performance in 2018 was an outlier or the start of something big. With the 11th pick, the Tennessee Titans selected Taylor LEWAN, tackle, Michigan. Hit. LEWAN has been Marcus Mariota's chief protector ever since the quarterback was drafted in 2015. Just ask Josh Norman. Ever since taking over as a full-time starter in his 2nd season, LEWAN has been pretty dependable, missing just 2 games over the past 4 years on his way to 3 consecutive Pro Bowls. With the 12th pick, the New York Giants select ODELL Beckham Jr., wide receiver, LSU. Hit. Even though injuries have limited Beckham's production in the past 2 seasons, there's little argument that he's among the elite pass catchers in the NFL since being selected 12th overall. And if for some reason this football thing doesn't work out, OBJ's dance moves could probably land him a starring role on Broadway. Enjoy, Cleveland. With the 13th pick, the St. Louis Rams selected Aaron Donald, defensive tackle, Pittsburgh. Hit. If we were redoing the 2014 draft, Donald would be the undisputed number 1 overall pick. The Rams Wrecking Ball has 4 first-team All-Pro selections, is a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, and set an NFL record for interior defensive linemen with 20.5 sacks. Not bad for a player some thought might be too small to succeed in the NFL. With the 14th pick, the Chicago Bears selected Kyle Fuller, cornerback, Virginia Tech. Fuller made his first Pro Bowl in 2018 after racking up 7 interceptions. Before then, he'd been a player whose production hadn't quite matched his athleticism, though missing the entire 2016 season with a knee injury didn't help. The next step will be for him to build on last season's breakout in one of the NFL's best defenses. With the 15th pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Ryan Shazier, linebacker, Ohio State. Shazier is still attempting to return to the field from a serious spine injury that he suffered near the end of the 2017 season. Yet, even before enduring this latest issue, Shazier battled a number of physical ailments and missed 14 of 48 games during his first 3 NFL seasons. With the 16th pick, the Dallas Cowboys select Zach Martin, guard, Notre Dame. Hit. 5 seasons, 5 Pro Bowls. Martin is the only guard in NFL history to accomplish that during the Super Bowl era. Any of you fantasy football enthusiasts who won a championship thanks to Ezekiel Elliott might want to throw a thank you in the direction of the main road grader who helped make that production possible. With the 17th pick, the Baltimore Ravens selected C.J. Mosley, Alabama. Hit. Mosley's been a tackling machine. He's made 100 or more stops 4 times in his career and has been a Pro Bowler just as many times. Being a standout in a defense with a history of elite linebackers is no small feat. Mosley has been that dude. With the 18th pick, the New York Jets select Calvin Pryor, safety, Louisville. Miss. Pryor never came close to living up to the expectations the Jets had for him when they drafted him at number 18. After 3 underwhelming seasons with Gang Green, he was released and eventually signed by the Jaguars, where he played 2 games before washing out of the NFL completely. At number 19, the Miami Dolphins select Jawan James, offensive tackle, Tennessee. Miss. Sometimes your best ability is your availability. James just hasn't been available for the Dolphins, missing 16 games in his 5 NFL seasons. But even when he's been on the field, his performance has been average at best. At number 20, the New Orleans Saints select Brandon Cooks, wide receiver, Oregon State. Hit. It's hard to think that a player who's played for 3 different teams in the past 3 seasons could be a hit, but who wouldn't want a wideout who's posted 4 straight seasons with 1,000 or more yards and 5 or more touchdowns? With the 21st pick, the Green Bay Packers selected CLINTON-DIX, safety, Alabama. CLINTON-DIX has been as reliable as they come, playing 16 games every season of his career, but during that time, he's merely been a serviceable at best defensive back. With the 22nd pick, the Cleveland Browns select Johnny Manziel, quarterback, Texas A&M. Miss. Johnny Football was expected to be the man who shut down the Factory of Sadness. Instead, he became just another in a long list of employees punching out widgets of football futility. At number 23, the Kansas City Chiefs select D. Ford, linebacker, Auburn. It's easy to have your judgment clouded by a pair of huge years for Ford, but that would be ignoring the other 3 campaigns that saw him either playing as a reserve or missing large chunks of the seasons with injuries. At number 24, the Cincinnati Bengals selected DARQUEZE DENNARD, cornerback, Michigan State. Miss. In 5 NFL seasons, DENNARD has just 3 interceptions and never worked his way into being a consistent starter in Cincinnati. With the 25th pick, the San Diego Chargers selected Jason Verrett, cornerback, TCU. Miss. When he's been on the field, Verrett has been a quality player for the Chargers. Problem is, he's rarely been on the field, missing 55 of a possible 80 games in his career. With the 26th pick, the Philadelphia Eagles selected Marcus Smith, linebacker, Louisville. Miss. Smith is on his 3rd team in 3 seasons, and the next start he makes in the NFL will be his first. With the number 27 pick, the Arizona Cardinals select Deon Buchanan, safety, Washington State. Buchanan made a name for himself as a versatile hybrid defender and had 1 monster year for the Cardinals in 2015. The rest of his stay with the Redbirds has been pretty middling. With the 28th pick, the Carolina Panthers selected Kelvin Benjamin, wide receiver, Florida State. After putting up solid numbers in his first 2 full seasons, Benjamin's decline has been dramatic. How bad is it? He was released by a Bills team that gave up 2 draft picks to get him and was still in desperate need of wideouts. No bueno. With the 29th pick, the New England Patriots selected Dominic Easley, defensive tackle, Florida. Miss. Easley has a Super Bowl ring with the Patriots, but he also has just 5 career starts and just 1 year where he played a full 16 games. With the 30th pick, the San Francisco 49ers selected Jimmy Ward, safety, Northern Illinois. Miss. Ward has the 3rd most pass defenses since being drafted by the Niners. That's not saying much on a defense that's been one of the league's worst. It also doesn't help that he's gone on injured reserve 4 times in 5 seasons. With the 31st pick, the Denver Broncos selected Bradley Roby, cornerback, Ohio State. Roby was serviceable as one of the lesser-known parts of Denver's no-fly zone. Then again, there's a reason he was one of the lesser-known parts of Denver's no-fly zone. With the 32nd pick, the Minnesota Vikings selected Teddy Bridgewater, quarterback, Louisville. Miss so far. Teddy Two Gloves is still working his way back from a horrific knee injury, but we've only seen 1 decent season from the quarterback. We're all rooting for Bridgewater, but as of now, it just hasn't worked out.